Welcome back to ILTV on the Hour. We're bringing you the biggest headlines from Israel and the Middle East in just 5 minutes. I'm Devo Klein, and today is day 663 of the war in Gaza. Let's get into all of the top stories of the hour. We begin our hour with the news that for the first time since the start of the war in Gaza, Arab nations have called for the disarmament of Hamas. The countries in question, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, all nations who have played instrumental roles as mediators in various rounds of hostage negotiations, have all signed on a statement along with 17 other countries, the European Union, and the Arab League. The statement demands an end to Hamas rule in Gaza and condemns the deadly attacks by Hamas against Israeli civilians on October 7th. And a weird trend is taking shape as Arab nations come together to condemn Hamas and support Israel's war goal of removing them from power. Western countries are opting for a different path to peace. The UK has joined France in calls to recognize a Palestinian state. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer gave a similar announcement to France's from earlier this week, stating that come the UN General Assembly in September, if Israel does not commit to a ceasefire in Gaza and a long-term peace process, the UK will recognize a Palestinian state. Israel's foreign ministry has responded to the UK's announcement with great disappointment, stating, quote, "The British government's position specifically now is rewarding Hamas and is harming hostage for ceasefire efforts." And in the last hour, Malta has joined the UK and France in their threats to recognize a Palestinian state in September if a Gaza ceasefire is not reached. Efforts to reach a ceasefire have been ongoing, and U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to visit Israel within the next 24 hours. Reports indicate that Witkoff will enter Gaza during his visit and tour the humanitarian efforts at the distribution zones. Meanwhile, the war in Gaza rages on. It's day 663 of the war. And with looming signs of a ceasefire, the IDF still pushes on, targeting terror infrastructure both below and above ground. The IDF posted a video revealing a full kilometer-long tunnel in Khan Yunis, the notorious Hamas terror stronghold. Troops from the Golani Brigade captured images from within the tunnel on their body cams. You can see in the video the troops located massive stockpiles of weapons and munitions within the tunnel. Secondary explosions following the demolition of the tunnel further confirm that the tunnel was filled with explosives. The 98th Division is operating in Zaytun and Sajaiya, while the 162nd Division operates in northern Gaza. Both divisions are dismantling terror infrastructure and eliminating terrorists. And the New York Times have amended their story with an editor's note after finding out that the Gazan infant who served as the symbol of, quote, Israeli starvation ended up being exposed as a complete and utter propaganda ploy. 1.5-year-old Muhammad al-Mutawak was depicted by the New York Times editor as a symbol of the Gaza food crisis, and the stark images of his frail body sparked mass outrage and condemnation of Israel. But now, with the truth of his pre-existing conditions being public, the New York Times have took the opportunity not to apologize for once again falling for Hamas propaganda that falsely incriminates the Jewish state, but to edit the piece and say that, quote, "We have since learned new information and have updated our story to add some context." And Israel's tech sector is celebrating a landmark deal. Palo Alto Networks is acquiring CyberArk in a merger net worth approximately $25 billion, the second largest exit in Israeli history behind the Google Waze deal. Both companies share Israeli roots. CyberArk is a native Israeli cybersecurity firm, while Palo Alto was founded by Israeli entrepreneur Nir Tzuk and operates key development centers in Israel. The merger is expected to preserve CyberArk as an independent division within Palo Alto, maintaining much of its unique company culture. And we have a heartwarming story to wrap up our headlines for today. The Filipino hostage, Jimmy Pachio, who returned from captivity, has given birth to a beautiful baby girl and named her Israela. What a heartwarming story. Those are the headlines for our hour. We'll continue to give you more updates, but for now you can scan the QR code on your screen for our ILTV app. I'm Devo Klein, and I hope to see you soon.